They say nothing motivates a person more than humiliation. Your damaged pride turns to anger, and if you land on a chance to take revenge on your enemies, you won't hesitate to do it. So, today I'm going to speak of 10 such anime protagonists who were humiliated, then came back overpowered. So, if you're ready, here we go. Number 10, Familiar of Zero. What happens when you land on an isekai world where everyone treats you as a slave? This is what happens to Saito Hiraga, a boy who is summoned by the weak magician Louise as a familiar. In the first few episodes of the season, everyone treats him as a slave. He is chained, he needs to sleep on the floor and eat like a dog, and most of all, he is always humiliated because he's just a regular familiar. But over time he shows his bravery, and by the final season he is a knight who stands to defend the country against the greatest threat. Saito also shows the other prideful nobles that you cannot judge a person by the way they are born. So, if you want to see the regular isekai protagonist actually turn into someone overpowered, then this is the show for you. Number 9, Tales of Abyss. Tales of Abyss manages to combine a great premise with the usual fantasy elements. And this is one of the factors that plays for its advantage. It happens during the war between the nation of Kimlaska Lanveldir and the Malkuth Empire, in order to complete several prophecies that dictate the future of the world. Here we have Luke von Favor, a swordsman who has lost his memories and is locked away in a tower. When he clashed swords with a woman named Tyr, the two of them are teleported to a distant land. Soon Luke understands the connection between his travels and the prophecies that rule the world. Luke at first is that character who is ignored and kicked out, but along his journey, he takes responsibility for his actions and turns into a person who can protect the ones around him. Number 8, Bento.
平成23年4月6日夜僕は死んだ
Now let's move on to something a little more lighthearted that involves food. Bento follows the adventures of Yu Sato, who stumbles onto a city where the people fight for bento boxes. Now seeing the madness, you might think Sato wants to run away, right? Turns out he actually wants to get into the fight. At the beginning, he's the guy who can barely aim a punch, but soon, upperclassman Wolfsen Yarizui invites him to join his club and learn how to fight. If you plan on ignoring this anime just because of the rather unrealistic premise, here's my advice. Don't. Even though the premise may be simple, the show actually puts time for the character development and shows that in the end, people can become hungry wolves and dogs for food when it becomes scarce. Number 7, Code Geass. This entry on our list is a rather popular one, and definitely one of the best anime of all time. This is about an abandoned prince named Lelouch v Britannia, leading a revolution to capture the throne of Britannia from his father. Now, in terms of being overpowered, Lelouch isn't the guy to punch really hard or do devastating attacks. But he has one thing many other protagonists of this genre rarely get: a brain. Lelouch can think fast, strategize easily, and see through his opponent's actions in the blink of an eye. He also wields the power of the Geass, which can manipulate anyone. And if you want some mind games and a good political story, then this is the anime for you. Number 6, And Ride. Well, to take a break, how about you go watch the adventures of two boys? One of the boys is an isekai protagonist who gets summoned to a parallel world, and the other is a betrayed prince who yearns for revenge after being humiliated and imprisoned. Together, these two plot a revenge plan to capture the kingdom and achieve their own goals. 1. For the isekai protagonist to go back to his own world, and 2. For the prince to get the throne and kill the current king. And Ride is a twisted tale of revenge and betrayal, and teaches us that in the end, the best friend you can have is a friend summoned from another world. Number 5, World Trigger. World Trigger happens in a world now invaded by monsters known as neighbors. When human weapons are proved worthless against these creatures, it is up to an organization called the Border to prevent the invasion of these monsters. Here we have Yuma Kuga, who transfers to the school several years after the attack and possesses incredible power. Osama Mikumo is a girl working as a border trainee, and she soon learns that Yuma is a neighbor in disguise. Yuma's very power originates from his monster nature, and despite appearing as a teenager, he has the skills of a veteran warrior. He is considered as an A-rank neighbor and can stand toe-to-toe against the border's most talented soldiers. So if you need the comeback story with an overpowered transfer student, here's the anime for you. Number 4. Hero Man. Did you know that there's an anime created by Stan Lee? Yep, the guy who created Spider-Man and all your favorite heroes has made an anime. Hero Man tells a story of a shy but kind-hearted Joseph Carter, who finds a destroyed Hey Bro and decides to repair it. Carter is a guy who gets often bullied at school. Most of the time he is humiliated, but once he finds Hero Man, he actually changes and decides to face challenges head-on. What are these challenges, you might ask? Well, as it turns out, his relationship with Hero Man has actually brought an alien attack on Earth. If you need a story of the underdog becoming the hero who saves the day, then you know what to watch. Number 3. Rising of the Shield Hero. Now everyone knows about this anime, but I wouldn't do justice to the ones who haven't watched it if I don't include it in this list. Rising of the Shield Hero happens when Naofumi Iwatani is transported to a world where 4 heroes should defend the nation against monsters. Naofumi becomes the infamous Shield Hero, but much to his distaste, he is betrayed on his very first day and exiled from the kingdom. The rest of the anime follows his story as he finds new allies and tries to prove his innocence. Every isekai has its specialty, and in the case of Shield Hero, it is the character of Naofumi. You'll soon begin to root for him in his journey for revenge and be surprised about how the boy went from cheerful to callous and cold-hearted. Number 2. Bofuri. Here we have another Shield Hero, which makes me believe that humiliation and Shield Heroes might come as a package bundle. Go back to your favorite RPG game. Ever wondered what would happen if you only increased your defense? This is what Kaede Honjo does when she travels to the VVMORPG named New World Online. She maxes out her defense, and in return she gets the ability to withstand the attacks of even the most powerful enemies. This, combined with her very basic level creative thinking, gives her the power to quickly level up in the game. If you need a female protagonist for an isekai as a change and also want the overpowered trope, then this would be a good addition to your watch list. Number 1. Kwanji Faji. Coming up at number 1, we have a Chinese anime for a change. This is about Mo Fan, who finds himself in a universe similar to his, where magic has replaced science and the so-called magic is used to fend off beasts and other evil lurking in the forests. But Mo is born as a son of a laborer, and as rumors spread about his poverty and lack of magical ability, others label him as weak. But Mo Fan soon turns out to be an underdog with immense potential with rare abilities. He can harness several elements at once and can leave everyone's mouth gawked. Now moved from weak to dangerous, Mo needs to learn how to survive in the world as well as to face the threats that come for him. So, did you get some new anime recommendations? Let me know down below what you're planning on watching first, and if I missed anything, don't forget to mention them as well. As usual, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you can be instantly updated as soon as we release new videos. Alright, that's it for today. Stay safe, anime fans, and I'll see you in the next video.